Hey everybody, in this video I'll talk about our parallel guides. Parallel guide is simply a carbon extension with a slot down the center, tall cap on one end, and a pair of what we call expand dogs that run in the slot. The way to use those is that they fit into any 20mm hole, just like so on your bench top, and you can adjust this as a stop for anything, any way you want, and then you simply tighten the knobs and it stays secure. To move it, just loosen the knobs, pop it back out. So, as I said, use it as an adjustable stop anywhere for whatever you're doing if you want to push something up against it. You can run it at a diagonal, any way you like it. You can also mount it on track stars. And so, typically, you would use one of these holes and maybe the slot in the back. So you can just tighten that in there and then run it in the slot. So you have a stop here. You can also use these two holes on the track star if you prefer. There's just enough room for these knobs to turn and do their magic. But there's another way to secure that parallel guide. For example, if you are in the long rip setup that we use on our benches, and I have this rail doing that here, you have a lot of the flexibility in where you put the parallel guides. So you can choose different dimensions of the piece you want to cut and use our rip gauge for setting those. And you can have two here, all based on the same standard, and do lots of repeat cuts that are very accurate. So as I said, there are multiple uses for the parallel guides, but one more you can consider is that it can be used to position pieces that are narrower than your guide rail under the guide rail for cuts. So for example, I would just locate the expand dogs in a couple of holes, raise my rail, and then slide this under, and I can secure it there, ideally using our rip gauge, which we can talk about in another video, and then drop the rail on top of it. It's 6mm thick, which is a little under 1/4 inch. So most of your projects will be able to sit under the rail, touching the rail, without this interfering. One other way you can use the parallel guides is to cut narrow pieces on the right side of the guide rail and do it very accurately. So I have my rip gauge here, and I would just set this against the guide rail and then pull the tall cap end of the parallel guide up against that. So tighten that in place. I've already done the other. So you can use this combination of things to get very accurate parallel pieces down to quite narrow dimensions on the right side of the guide rail. And that's the parallel guide.